Alright, so I just decided to make a little video that was kind of a more, I don't know, I guess you could call it like a philosophical kind of topic, but I've been watching some videos about like, the topic of the Gen Zers. I mean, I guess I'd be considered Gen Zer, but just barely by like a couple of years off of being a millennial, but I guess I'd be a part of it. I mean, I'm 22, so I guess I'd be a part of it, but you know what I mean? Like, this is going to be a video of some things that I wish would happen more with, like, people my age and, like, younger and everything. So, yeah, here it goes. Now, Gen Z, of course, a lot of them were born and bred into the days of the internet. I mean, I kind of was myself, though, of course, I come from a time, like, when I was a kid, the internet wasn't like how it is today, you know. The first time I used the internet, it was on a Windows 95 computer, and, it was a dial-up sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like, it made a bunch of weird noises when you would turn it on, and if somebody went on the phone, then your connection would be lost and everything. You'd get disconnected from the internet, and you wouldn't be able to, surf the web or whatever in your internet browser, like your Internet Explorer that they had way back then or whatever, but, I didn't exactly have my first smartphone until I was around like 14 or 15 as well. There were some kids around my age that kind of did during the time, but I didn't get my first smartphone until I was like 14 or 15, even though if there was some kids who got them a bit earlier, you know what I mean? But I mean, with the previous generation, the millennials, television and stuff like that, Gen Xers included in with that too. Television was like the thing for them that, it was like, hey, you could see so much with this, you could see all sorts of different films, interviews, you name it, you know what I mean? Like, there's all sorts of stuff you could do with, television, and they really did it, of course, TV shows and movies and stuff like that, documentaries, they're now a thing. That whole generation, that was like the biggest innovation into like the average home was the television, you know what I mean? And of course, some people among Gen Z like doing things at home. They like going on their computer or, using their phone to, apply for job interviews or whatever. And some people even like using the self-checkout at stores. I don't personally at Walmart, because I like to pay for my stuff in cash, you know what I mean? And for whatever reason, my local Walmart, I don't know if this is the same for every local Walmart, but, my local Walmart does not have an option for cash for the self-checkout, so I don't use that. I usually just, go and check out in person. That's what I'm kind of used to. I don't know, that's just me personally. I prefer to check out in person because I don't like having to put cash into a machine or worry about what card I have or whatever, you know what I mean? I kind of prefer to have an in-person checkout still, and I'm glad they still have that as an option. I hope they keep that as an option, but, they may get rid of that someday, who knows? I mean, I guess it kind of sucked, but I guess it is what it is. I just wish that my local Walmart would make a cash option for self-checkout, though. But I'm going to get into that, though. The first thing is social interaction. A social interaction has kind of been on a decline with people around my age, especially ones like didn't work throughout 2020. We all know what happened then. The virus came around and everything all went haywire. The entire country was locked down, most of the world was locked down in general, and this was like a motherfucking atom bomb on society, you know what I mean? Like, everybody was locked up and everything. Everybody was doing everything through the internet, and even applying for jobs was a common thing during the time, like Zoom meetings. They do it online, you know what I mean? And this kind of changed the way things work for sure, because there's been reports I've seen of Gen Zers who do job interviews online, and they're not very professional. They kind of, they don't even really dress professional. Or some of them even refuse to turn their cameras on. They refuse to turn their webcams on. And I'm starting to think, some of these colleges they get into, I mean, I have nothing against, going to college. I mean, I went to college myself. But, some of them don't really prepare you too much for actually, I'm applying for a job and everything. I mean, there's other ways you can get taught on, how to apply for a job. I mean, some people work, and go to college. I did that, and even though I hated doing it after a while, but, that's what I did personally. I mean, I already had a job beforehand. Some people are fortunate enough where, they can just afford to go to school, but, you know what I mean? I wasn't that person. I had to work and pay for my college. I wasn't, handed money by my parents to really help me out with the whole thing. I had to pay every bit of it out of my own damn pocket, which sucks absolute donkey dick. But that's just the way I had to do it, you know what I mean? And, unfortunately, this has kind of led us into, being on our phones a lot more often and stuff like that. I'm not really used to face-to-face interaction because everybody's locked up, especially people around my age that lived on their own, and even a lot of them live with their parents, and no shame in that if you're around my age living with your parents. I don't personally. I got my own place and everything now, and I don't live with my parents anymore. I mean, I did when the virus came around. I was working, a minimum wage job, though, because, I was in fast food and everything during that time. And, of course, a lot of the fast food restaurants are still going to be open, so I still had social interaction during the time. But I can definitely get why it was hard for people to find jobs during that time, considering, a lot of places were closing down. A lot of small businesses were just like, fuck it, we're not doing this right now. This time is just too weird to even have my business open, considering all, the ramifications that can come with having a business during the time in regards to, this, unpredictable virus that just came around, and everything else, and, all the restrictions that were put in place on all sorts of different things. But what I say to Gen Zers now is, now that things are opening back up, businesses are around, go to that show. Go to that rock show. I'm going to see Alkaline Trio in March, most likely. Go to that music show. Go out and go on vacations when you can. Take advantage of these things. Be social with your friends more now that you can. Now that you're not locked up anymore. Take this opportunity to, just have fun with your life with your friends. I've done that a lot more recently. I mean, I have friends that live in the same apartment complex as me now, too, so I have good people around me to be around and everything more than I used to. But take advantage of the fact that we're not, locked up anymore because of a virus. Second thing I'm hoping for among the younger generation that I see more is expansions of unions. And a lot of these young people getting into these union jobs. I mean, my job may soon become a union job, which I hope, because, you get more of a say in what equipment you have and everything and stuff like that, and certain benefits you may get. I mean, I already get certain benefits from my current job that are pretty neat compared to my past job because I actually get health care through my current job. At my past job I did not get health care through it, so I'm definitely grateful for my current job for that. But I think us becoming a union would probably be a good thing with the job I have. With a lot of jobs, too, it'd be pretty good to have them as a union, especially these, non-big corporation jobs, like these small businesses and everything. A union could run pretty well, I think, with a lot of these small businesses. And with unions, by the way, they say, oh, you have to pay dues, though. But it's usually, from what I've seen, at least around where I live, most union jobs around where I live, it's not even a percent of your income, so it's not really even a considerable amount, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's good for that reason, too, you know what I mean? I mean, you contribute a little bit of money into it. It's hardly anything, though, but you're kind of paying in to get certain benefits and everything, which I think is probably even better, because you get more of a say in, what equipment you have and stuff like that, and safety things and all that jazz, you know what I mean? Because a lot of young people right now are kind of starting to see we need more workers' rights, which we do, and I think unions provide a lot of that, which I hope to see more in a lot more jobs, especially in small business. Number 3 is get involved with creation of a more variety of different things. I mean, not that, you know, on making a living on the internet, there's anything wrong with it, but a lot of people kind of do that among my generation. I mean, I'm making a YouTube video right now, so, you know, obviously I'm trying to get some sort of attention, but, you know, there's some of them out there, like, they're in the entirety of their lives is hoping they get famous, and, you know, and they don't work or do anything or provide anything. They're not really making, you're not really bringing in any income or not a considerable amount, and, you know, they just expect their entire lives to be, hey, I'm gonna be this big YouTuber, or hey, I'm gonna be, you know, this big Instagram star or TikTok star, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, there's some of these prank YouTube channels. A lot of these people are around my age. They go out in public and just do some of the most ridiculous pranks I've ever seen. Like this one guy I saw one time that was out there, you know, harassing people at the airport, lying about, you know, people stealing his bag and everything, and I'm just like, oh my god, are people among my generation this bad? But I mean, I hate to hate on my generation too much, but just people like that really, really make people around my age look bad. And I don't really view that as anything like original. You're not really creating anything or doing any good for society. I mean, you make entertaining videos, cool, you know, that's very much appreciated, but when it's stuff like that, man, like, wow. It's like, it's kind of obvious these people are just trying to get attention, whether it be positive or negative, and not really caring about the outcome. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you could do. You could literally start, like, a brand of potato chips, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. Like, being more creative, you know what I mean? I mean, if you're good at something, you know, put use to it. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to do that with all the things I'm into, you know, because I'm into so many different things. Like, of course, YouTube I like doing. I like singing and playing guitar, even though, you know, I haven't really found many people around my area recently to really do that stuff with. And just, you know, of course I have a full-time job as well, so you have to work around that schedule, but, you know, I still enjoy doing those things nonetheless, though. But at the same time, though, do it at the extent you can afford it, you know what I mean? Like, if it's not providing you income, you know, maybe put that second above getting an income. I mean, if you are making money off of it, that's amazing. You know, you're very fortunate. I wish I made money off of, you know, stuff like this, but I don't. I do this for free, just for fun. I mean, if I did make a little money off it, hey, that's nice. You know, I get a little bit of compensation, you know, why not? But I don't really spend my whole life focusing on being a big YouTuber, you know what I mean? I'm just some guy making videos here just for fun of, you know, just basically whatever I want. I mean, if I did that, then I'd be homeless, or, you know, I'd have to move back in with my parents, and I'd basically be leeching off of them, which I don't want to do that. So that's just a couple things I hope to see more among my generation. I mean, there's a lot of good things about my generation, too. I've seen a lot of, you know, people that really amaze me among my generation as well, including, you know, previous people I've worked with. And I might do one of these videos about people of the older generation, I don't know, maybe. Because there's certain things about their generation I hope for, you know, bettering a bit more, too. You know, not to really hate on them too much, because there's plenty of great old people, too, but, you know. And this isn't really an attack on my generation, believe it or not. It's just things I hope for to see more, you know what I mean? Like, of course, no generation's perfect, but, you know, this is just what I hope for among the Gen Z generation. You know, take with this what you will, and I will catch you guys later, though. Peace out, guys.